Hello there guys, welcome to another my live video. So just going to give you a bit more team news for the Manchester United Arsenal game this evening. Obviously we do know that it is an 8 o'clock kickoff, so we are over an hour away from kickoff. Just to give you some more news anyway, it's confirmed that Wan-Bissaka will not be playing in this particular game. I think he has sustained an injury, so that is a big blow for Manchester United. I think also Arsenal are missing Kieran Tierney, obviously, one of their summer signings, and Mesut Ozil. I think they are both injured. I think also Arsenal have got Lacazette out with an ankle injury, and I think we've got some good news as well. I think Marcus Rashford for us and Paul Pogba are included in the Manchester United squad, because we do know obviously they've been out with injury. Like I did tell you, I interpreted some of the stuff that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had said in his press conference building up to the game, and he actually did initially say that Marcus Rashford, Paul Pogba, and Martial were all doubts for the game, so possibly Rashford and Paul Pogba, could be involved. Solskjaer did actually say as well that Pogba obviously, did return to the starting 11 midweek against, Rochdale and that, but confirmed he had sustained another knock and that, but maybe Paul Pogba, will be involved in this game. And with Marcus Rashford, obviously he's been out over a groin problem. Rashford obviously came off injured in the 2-0 defeat to West Ham last weekend. We know that Martial and Luke Shaw are not going to be involved in this game, because they obviously are still both injured. Martial's out over a thigh injury. Luke Shaw, of course, is out over a hamstring injury. So in that aspect, both players I think have missed the last 4 games in all competitions. But I did say anyway, reflecting on the amount of injuries we've got, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to make alterations in the squad. But this is a game, Manchester United, do have to win this evening. It's a very, very big game indeed, and it's always a good game, Manchester United and Arsenal. Like I did say, I think we're only sitting 3 points behind them in the table, but obviously, we need to win tonight, obviously, to keep our hopes up for that top 4, because obviously, we do know, reflect on the money that's being spent at the football club, and also, with the history and that of this football club, we should be much more for commanding a position than we're in now. But yeah, we've still got quite a few players out of injury. Obviously, Eric Bailly's a long-term absence. Fosu Mensah's obviously out, but obviously Solskjaer did confirm in his press conference that Luke Shaw and Fosu Mensah have both returned to training, so they hopefully can be back for the game against Alkmaar, or if not Alkmaar, the game against Newcastle, which is on the 6th of October. As it did also confirm, we know that Angel Gomez and Diego Dalot are both out injured. We do know Diego Dalot has only made 1 appearance for the club this season. That came in the game against FC Mestania. Angel Gomez, it did initially say as well, he's going to be a big part of the squad this season. Obviously, Angel Gomez is another one of our midfield options, and he actually played in the 2-0 defeat to West Ham last week, and he had come on as a substitute. But I did initially say in this game tonight, I think Mason Greenwood, definitely needs to start. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, recently give his overarching view on Mason Greenwood, and he actually did say it would be impossible to leave him out of the team. If he does keep scoring, and obviously if he is to keep the consistency up, he's assured as Solskjaer that Mason Greenwood, will get more minutes under his belt. Because I did initially say, I think at this present time Mason Greenwood is a much better solution than Marcus Rashford, and that obviously Mason Greenwood has not yet started a game in the Premier League, but I think he should get given that start tonight, because Mason Greenwood has scored in his last 2 games. Obviously he played in the FC Estania game and the Rochdale game. He started in both of them games and that, and obviously in both them games, came up with a moment of quality. But like I did say, Greenwood is only 17 years of age, and like I said, by the time he's 23, 24, I think he can be a world-class centre forward, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Like I said, we've got a lot of young players in the squad, that are developing and trying to improve at Manchester United. Like I did say, the vast majority of Man United fans have said maybe we should, orchestrate on loaning some of the young upcoming players out, because maybe it will be beneficial for their career. Also, it may, obviously gain them more experience in that aspect and that. But maybe the vast majority of the young upcoming players, won't become a success at Manchester United. Like I do keep saying, it may be, only Mason Greenwood, that does become the successful one at the football club. But yeah, for me, he needs to start this game tonight. But, we've enjoyed a really difficult start to the season. That, we've only won 2 league games out of 6 so far. Obviously, Arsenal's our 7th, game tonight in the Premier League. But we have enjoyed a really bad start to the season. Like I did mention on my video earlier on, that we can't, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, could not afford any more bad results. Because I did say if this bad run of form does continue to persist, I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be gone by Christmas. The vast majority of Manchester United fans, believe he could be gone by Christmas. I think a lot of industries also, believe he could be gone by Christmas. But despite our bad start to the season, I still think, Manchester United, are backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ed Woodward actually, is still convinced that Solskjaer can turn things around at the football club. He can still turn things around at the football club. But also, a lot of Manchester United fans have also, been demanding Ed Woodward out with the football club and that. But like I did say, due to our inconsistency, I think, the blame, does stem from everybody basically, but I think the vast majority of the blame, does stem from the board, because obviously, they wasn't ruthless enough, during the summer, they didn't back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer enough, as actually, they did actually, Shaw and that, and the board, didn't recommend, any sufficient attackers in, or, any sufficient midfielders in and that, so yeah, I think the vast majority of the blame is from the board, but for me, I think, what needs to improve at Manchester United. There's a lot of things that need to improve at Manchester United. You've got obviously the vast majority of Man United fans demanding, for us to go more with the 4-3-3 formation than go obviously, with the 4-2-3-1 formation. But I did say on a regular basis this season we probably will go with that 4-2-3-1 formation. So for me, the results need to improve, the performances need to improve. The performances need to improve. We need to be more clinical in front of goal. Obviously, we haven't been clinical enough in front of goal this season. We just don't seem to have that clinical element. We do seem to be creating chances in that, which is a good sign. But we're not scoring enough goals. We've only managed 8 goals in the Premier League so far this season. And like I said, I think so far this season is replicating what I saw last season. And what I mean in that aspect is, I haven't, really seen much improvements in that. But for me, some of the blame does stem from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because obviously, his tactics and that are questionable, and I do admit, we are tactically inept. I think, the personnel's there and that, but, we're tactically, we have tactically, got problems. I think certain players also have got to take responsibility, because the vast majority of our players so far this season have underperformed. I do think, these certain players that have played really well, but for me, I think we need to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, at least this season, we need to give him at least a couple of windows to make further more investment in that, because analysing the majority of this squad, it isn't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so he's basically still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United squad. And there is certain, I credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in certain aspects in that, I have got element of concerns about him as well, but the things I do credit him for, as I do keep mentioning that, he did recommend 3 good players to the squad during the summer. We spent over £140 million on Daniel James. We paid around £15 million for him with add-ons included, which did potentially rise it to 18 million. Obviously, we paid £50 million for Anwan Bissaka. A lot of people believe he's been one of our most consistent signings so far. And, also we recommended Harry Maguire in. And obviously we paid a substantial amount for Harry Maguire. We paid, £80 million for him. Obviously, he's our second most expensive signing, and obviously he's the most expensive defender in the world. I do believe that the football club overpaid for Harry Maguire, but I did say, Leicester didn't really want to lose him, and obviously in these markets this day and age you have to overpay for certain players, and obviously we're known for spending big on players, we're known for overpaying for players and that, and then obviously when it comes to letting them go, we let them go for next to nothing. So in that aspect, that is a bad business from the football club. But I thought the 3 players, of course, we recommended in, I think have done really well for Manchester United. We have seen glimpses of what good signings they've proven to be so far, and that which is very good. But we didn't address all the problematic areas in the summer transfer window and that, and that's an element of concern. But I did say it was going to be extremely difficult for us to address all the problematic areas in one summer transfer window. It was going to be extremely difficult to do that. But for me, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does need more time. He definitely needs more time, because to me he wasn't back to enough during the summer. But yeah, that midfield area is one of the priority areas where Man United need to think about strengthening up in January. Don't forget, for the majority of the summer as well, we was in search for them a right winner. But obviously, we failed to qualify for the Champions League, and obviously in that aspect, I think that went against us in the summer transfer window, because obviously, a lot of players had reservations about joining the football club. Obviously, with our failure to qualify for the Champions League and that. But we can't enjoy a worse season this season than what we saw last season, because last season was a huge disappointment. We finished sixth. Obviously, we failed to win many silverware and that. And we failed to qualify for the Champions League. But if this bad run of form does continue to persist, then we could enjoy a worse season this season, of course, than what we saw last season and that. But yeah, definitely further more investment is needed in the squad. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did confirm, that he still wants to, continue the policy of signing young British players and that. Obviously, as he did do, earlier on in the summer. But for me, I think we need at least, 3 world-class signings, in my opinion, if we are to be, future title contenders and that. I still believe that there's also players as well that do need to leave the football club. I think there's still problematic players at Manchester United, despite the fact that a lot of players have now left, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival. I think around 6, 7 players left. I think a couple of goalkeepers also got loaned out. Obviously, Italy's been a popular destination, for the vast majority of our players that have left this summer and that. I think around 4 of our players went to Italy, but I still believe, there is problematic players at the club. But it was good, that we did get that summer clear out, that we did currently demand. But this is going to be a big game this evening, like I said. Arsenal are a pretty decent team, and that obviously, their expectations this season will be the same as ours, basically, to get into that top 4 and get back into the Champions League. Obviously, Arsenal, if they don't get into the top 4 this season, I think, the vast majority of the Arsenal fans, will obviously, want Unai Emery out. Obviously, Unai Emery is now into his second season as Arsenal manager. But like I said, Arsenal, did really, really good investment, during the summer. They spent, well, I can't remember how much they spent, but, allegedly said at the start of the summer that Arsenal had only been given a tight budget. They'd only been given from between 40 to 45 million pounds to spend in that. But they ended up getting some good players in. Obviously they spent around 70 million pounds on Nicolas Pepe, substantial amount. Obviously they got William Saliba in. I think he's being loaned back for St Etienne for the season. They also got Kieran Tierney in. Obviously, they got David Luiz in that. So Arsenal, did a pretty good investment in that. But we've got a good record against Arsenal anyway. Like I said to you on my preview in that, Arsenal have not won at Old Trafford in the Premier League, since 2006. Obviously that's around 13 years ago now. And obviously in the fixture last season, it was 2-2 at Old Trafford and that. So it's very rare that Arsenal, do beat us at Old Trafford and that. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very good game. Like I did say, the fixture's nowhere near as iconic as it was, back in the day, when we had Alex Ferguson, and of course when they had Arsene Wenger. Obviously, Ferguson served 26, 27 years at Man United. Wenger served around 22 years with Arsenal. So obviously, they are the two longest, serving managers, as you all know. But yeah, still always, a very, very good game in that. But this is a game Manchester United, of course, have got to win. So the news is Bissaka now, and Wan-Bissaka's been ruled out. And he was injured, earlier on in the season, don't forget. He had a back injury, don't forget, earlier on in the season that Wan-Bissaka, had to withdraw from the England squad. So obviously in that aspect, that prevented him from making his England, senior debut. Rashford and Pogba have made the journey in that, so maybe one of them at least, could be involved. Luke Shaw and Anthony Martial, don't forget, have also, being ruled out. But I didn't just say at the end of last season, and he also said at the beginning of this season, our expectations this season, will be to finish in that top 4 and, maybe win some Super. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got to exceed these expectations and that. But like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is our 4th permanent manager, since the Alex Ferguson era and that. And, like I said, we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers and that, despite the fact we've sacked 3 managers already, since the Alex Ferguson era and that. We've had different managers with different philosophies, but we're not really known for sacking clubs. So like I did say, I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure at Manchester United, can become successful. But, like I said, I haven't really seen any improvements under Solskjaer, than what I saw, under Jose Mourinho, Louis van Gaal, and of course David Moyes and that. But Solskjaer needs more time because Solskjaer hasn't had a long tenure. Has not yet, had a long tenure at Man United. He has only been at the football club overall for around 10 months. So I think, that's just under a year, basically. The football club recommended Solskjaer in December of last year, obviously, following the dismissal of Jose Mourinho. And obviously, he came in, don't forget, the first term as interim manager. Obviously, he was interim manager for 3 months with Solskjaer. Obviously, he did really, really well in that 3-month period. He exceeded expectations and that, and the results were really, really good, and he was getting the best out of these group of players. But since Solskjaer got the job in March earlier on this year, everything, of course, has just seemed to have all gone wrong, basically. But for me, we do need to give him time. I think also the board do need to assure structural changes at the football club, and that, whether they can assure these structural changes or not, I do not know. I think something else, probably could have went against us, during the summer. Obviously, the football club, failed to recommend a director of footballing and that. And I did say, that's one of the structural changes, that we did need at the football club. I think, we need to get a director of footballing, someone obviously who would have been reliable, to obviously our transfer business and that, and someone, of course, who knows about the culture of the club, someone, of course, has got the experience in that. But we didn't manage, to get a new sporting director in that. So, be interesting to see, what side, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does go within that. Obviously, we know that Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof will be back in the team. Obviously, they're arrested in the game against Rochdale. Resting the game against Rochdale. So now, obviously, with Wan-Bissaka out with injury, Luke Shaw's obviously out with injury, and so too is Diego Dalot. They're 3 obviously full-backs. We've got, I think probably it will be Young and Rojo at them full-back position. So probably Young will be at right-back, and Marcus Rojo, will be at left-back. That's obviously that's what I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is obviously going to go within that. I think McTominay should play tonight as well. I think McTominay has had a really, really impressive start to the season. In regards to McTominay being the long-term solution for Manchester United, I have got element of concerns about that. I don't know if he can keep the consistency up, but so far this season, he has done really, really well. And for the majority of this season, he has, been playing alongside Paul Pogba and Scott McTominay. But yeah, he's done fantastic. Fred, I think maybe I would give Fred the opportunity. I thought Fred was poor against Rochdale last week in the Carabao Cup. But I think, we need to see more of Fred, basically. Like I said, he's a much better solution than Matic. But I think any of our midfielders are much better solutions than Matic, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Fred needs more time at Man United. He hasn't quite settled in as yet. He's been at the club, just over the year. We paid just under £50 million for him last summer from Shakhtar Donetsk. Don't forget, this was back under the Jose Mourinho era. Never really got the opportunity under Jose Mourinho. Jesse Lingard. Now, maybe I wouldn't start him in this game, to be quite honest with you, because Jesse Lingard has enjoyed a really, really bad start to this season. Obviously, he was really, really poor against Rochdale last week, and obviously he was playing in that number 10 last week. But I did say, reflecting on Jesse Lingard's status at the football club, and also he's on around 100 grand a week. Lingard, should be putting much more better performances out. I know Lingard goal scoring record against Arsenal, is very, very good. Scored a couple of times against Arsenal last season. But I don't know, to be quite honest, if I would start him. Andres Pereira, he's actually been quite poor this season. Don't forget. So probably I wouldn't play him in this game. So it'd be interesting to see what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does go with. But like I did say to you, we have got games coming up thick and fast. Arsenal this evening, then we go away to Alkmaar in 3 days' time. That's another particular game where I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will go more with the youth. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got a lot of faith in his young upcoming players. And then obviously we go to Newcastle 3 days after that. Newcastle's on Sunday, I think, and then obviously it's an international break, and then after that we do go to Liverpool at home. So games obviously are coming up thick and fast, and I think also this season we need to improve our record against the top 6 sides, because it was very, very poor last season. We need to improve our away form as well. Don't forget we haven't won away from home since the PSG game last season in the Champions League. Obviously when Manchester United had produced that miraculous comeback and that. And I think also our home form does need to improve. So a lot of things do need to improve at Manchester United. I think we're lacking leadership as well. That's another problem. That's another problem in that. But like I did say to you, I keep saying it as well, regardless of who our manager is, no one is going to ever follow Alex Ferguson's legacy. We're never going to replicate what we did under Alex Ferguson and that, because we had 20 odd years of success under Ferguson. But take into account, Ferguson, didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United and that. When we recommended him in from Aberdeen back in 1984, 1985, didn't win out in his first 4 years and that. But obviously, he was on the verge of getting the sack, and he didn't. And then look what he went and accomplished. We had 20 odd years of success under him and that. But I think we need to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at least a year, maybe even 2 years. We need to give him something. We need to give him a platform, basically, to build on. He's, obviously with the free signings he got in during the summer, that's obviously built him a platform and that. But we know that more signings are definitely needed at the football club. But it was a shame during the summer that we didn't recruit a replacement for Ander Herrera or Marian Fellaini. It was also a shame, that we didn't recruit a replacement for Romelu Lukaku, because obviously now, following the dismissal of Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez, a lot of people now believe, we are lacking in that attacking line, and I do totally agree, to be quite honest with you. My overarching view on Alex Tuanzebe. Now, I like Alex Tuanzebe a lot. Don't forget, he was on loan last season with Aston Villa. So in that aspect, he has gained more experience in that. I think he did initially say, he's going to be a big part of the squad this season, is Alex Tuanzebe and that. Even though Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof are our first choice centre-backs, Alex Tuanzebe, will still get given his opportunities. Obviously, we'll get more opportunities in like the Europa League games and the Cup games and that. Don't forget he can play as a right back, but Tuanzebe, is predominantly a centre-back, don't forget. And we've still got a lot of centre-backs in the team, despite the fact that Chris Smalling, went out on loan to Roma. We have still got around 6 centre-backs in the team. But analysing our squad, I think it's definitely good enough, for the top 4 finish, but it's nowhere near good enough, to win the league and that. It's nowhere near good enough to win the league. Like I said, we haven't won the league, since 2013. Obviously, that was over 6 years ago now. Obviously, that was in Alex Ferguson's last season and that. And in that particular season, you can say Robin van Persie had won us the league, reflecting on the amount of goals and that he scored. But like I did say, a lot of money's been invested into the football club in the last 6 or 7 years. Obviously, over £140 million has been spent under Solskjaer this summer. Just under £400 million, was spent under Jose Mourinho. £200 million was spent under Van Gaal. Around £67 million was spent under Moyes. So, an estimated guess, we've spent nearly in the region of around £900 million in the last 6 or 7 years in all the managerial areas and that. So it's just under £1 billion. And that's obviously, that's not taking into account, what was spent under Alex Ferguson, don't forget. But yeah, like I said, we can afford to spend big on players and overpay for players because we're a massive club, and of course we have got massive revenues, and obviously now as well, we have got players on big contracts. Don't forget. But Solskjaer, like I said, of him being a player, he's got that proven pedigree because, Solskjaer was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance and all that. But another element of concern I've got about him, he hasn't really got that managerial experience and that, like I said, he won a couple of Norwegian titles with Mould. Obviously, he only had a really short tenure with Cardiff, don't forget, did Solskjaer and that. So I don't think his tenure, is going to become successful at Manchester United, if I'm going to be quite honest here. But hopefully, he can still be by January. And and that's mainly a thing to update you with. Obviously, we've also We've also sorted a lot of the contract renewals out, which is that's also some good piece of news in that. There were certain players that we shouldn't have given contracts to. Like I said, we shouldn't have given Phil Jones a new long-term contract last season. We shouldn't have given Ashley Young a new one-year extension last season. And that because I think they're both two problematic players at the football club. We do know recently Young has been playing on a regular basis, in the league as well. Obviously due to Luke Shaw's absence and that, and Jones has been obviously playing in the Europa League and that. But they are two problematic players at the football Football Club. But like I said, we sorted a lot of the contract renewals out. Like I said, Rashford, he signed a new long-term contract earlier on this summer. He's actually on that list of one of the highest paid players at the club. He's on around, 200 grand a week, it's over 200 grand a week. He's on a substantial amount. Martial is on around, 200 grand a week. He signed a 5-year deal back in January. You got McTominay, he signed a new long-term contract last season. I think also Andres Pereira early on in the summer, signed a new deal. Juan Mata, he signed a new deal earlier on this summer. But we give players new contracts. A lot of them, were in their last years of their current deals, and that, Mata was, Rashford was. I think actually, Martial was as well, if I'm right. Obviously, De Gea was. We give him a new long-term contract. Don't forget Lindelof, he signed a new contract, the other week as well, which is also, very, very good news. But yeah, we have got players on big contracts at the football club. But like I said, I still think, these players that do need to leave Man United in January and next summer, in my personal opinion, and that. In my personal opinion, but the good news is Arsenal have got Ozil out. They've also got Kieran Tierney out, and that I think Kieran Tierney's out with injury. Don't forget, like I said, Lacazette's out. I think they've also got Ainsley Niles out with suspension. I think it confirmed. But like I said, Arsenal, in terms of attacking intent, are a really, really good team. They can create chances. They can score goals and that. They've got the likes of Aubameyang, very, very good player. Obviously, him and Lacazette, play well together. When they're play well, when they're playing together and that, they make a good partnership and that. I think Ozil can have his good days with Arsenal. They've got some really, really good players. They've got Matteo Guendouzi, who I think's done well for them. I think Granit Xhaka, has also done well for them. Rob Holding's done well for them, quite recently. Hector Bellerin's done quite well. But Arsenal have got deficiencies defensively, so they do still, seem to leak a lot of goals. But I do think, both teams are, going to score tonight, and that. Obviously, if we don't get a positive result tonight, obviously you'll get more Man United fans, demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of the football club. And even if we do lose tonight, I'm still backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer all the way. My opinions are obviously, not going to change on that. But the board did a short at the start of this season anyway, that regardless of what happens this season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be backed, because the board, he will stay at Manchester United at least for this season, because the board realised that they didn't back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer enough, during the summer and that. But we will, see what happens. And with Paul Pogba now, obviously he's not yet signed a new long-term contract in Man United, but he's actually still got 2 years left on his current deal, with an option, to extend it by a further year. And that there's been reports speculating out quite recently, actually saying that, if there's any chances of Paul Pogba signing a new long-term contract in Man United, he's demanding a substantial £600,000 a week. 600 grand a week obviously equates to around £30 million a year, and that. I can't see Manchester United, willing to meet these wage demands, even though, we've got the financial power, to meet them wage demands and that. But as it already stands, Paul Pogba is on a substantial amount. He's on around, 290 grand a week in his current deal. So in that aspect, he is, still one of the highest paid players at the football club and that. But I still think Pogba will leave Man United. I think he'll either leave in January or he will leave next summer. I think we've had negotiations with Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, over the possibility, obviously, of renewing Paul Pogba's contract at the football club and that. We've also discussed about Paul Pogba's future. But actually, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, remains ruthless about Paul Pogba. He's very adamant that Paul Pogba will not be for sale in January, and he's very, very convinced, he will remain at the football club and that. If he doesn't leave in January, I think he will leave next summer, unless Man United can obviously renew his contract. But I just can't see us, giving him £600,000 a week and that. Obviously, when we had Alexis Sanchez, he was on £500,000 a week at the football club. He was on 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week, based on the image rights and the bonuses and that. I still think we're paying some of Sanchez's wages, because obviously he's loaned out to Inter Milan. Inter Milan are obviously paying some of his wages, but I still believe we're paying the majority of Sanchez's wages and that. But Paul Pogba, I still believe, wants out of the football club. But the good news is he's in the squad, for tonight, and could be involved, which is very, very good news. Like I said, he's sustained a few injuries now, recently. sustained another ankle injury. Obviously, before he had an ankle injury in that, made him withdraw from the France squad around 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he would have been infuriated in that aspect, because we do know that Paul Pogba, does like to represent France. Won the World Cup with them last summer. But, we do know the difference Pogba makes in that midfield. We've seen him at his best at Man United, and when we mainly see the best of Paul Pogba, when he's threed up and that. We have seen him at his best as a Manchester United player. He's mainly analysing his career with Man United since he rejoined from Juventus back in 2016. He has, he's enjoyed mainly a difficult time, in comparison to his time, at Juventus, because, he did have 4 good years there with Juventus and that. Obviously, there was rumours early on in the summer about him possibly making a return back to Italy, but it was mainly, Real Madrid that were relentlessly linked there with Pogba. I said the stumbling block of Paul Pogba's move to Real Madrid was obviously the substantial amount we put on Pogba, because we wanted around £180 million. In that aspect, we was demanding just over double than what we paid for him from Juventus back in 2016. Real Madrid were not willing to meet that as well. But and Barcelona also inquired about getting Pogba. PSG inquired about getting him. I think there was quite a few teams in for Paul Pogba, but more than likely Real Madrid will reignite their interest in January in that. But Pogba has still got a lot of development in him. He is only 26 years of age and that, and he's quite frankly still in his prime. But we will see what happens. But yeah, that's just the news. I just wanted to give you a bit more news. Alright. I just wanted to give you a bit more on the team news and that as well. It's confirmed now Wan-Bissaka's ruled out of the game, so he will not be playing tonight. So at the fullbacks, it should be Young and Marcos Rojo and that. I think it's recently said that Phil Jones is out with injury as well, and if I'm right. But yeah, bad team news, to be quite honest with you. But yeah. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And my match reaction probably will be coming up tomorrow morning. Won't have time to do it tonight after the game and that. But yeah. So anyway, take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.